Mabuhay, Sipnayan! Today, we are going to discuss modeling, representing, and transforming quadratic functions. I am Sir James Ryan San Juan, your teacher for this video. Manood, makinig, at matuto. Tara na! In this video, the learner should be able to models real-life situations using quadratic functions, represents a quadratic function using table of values, graph, and equation, and transforms the quadratic function defined by y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c into the form y is equal to a quantity x minus h squared plus k. Are you excited, guys? So let's start. Do you know that the concept of quadratic function is very useful in our life? If you know further about it, you can solve different problems that involves quadratic function in real-life situations such as building structures, computing the maximum height or minimum point of an object they reach, analyzing the movement of an object, and etc. Here are some examples of situations that models quadratic functions in real-life situations. Number 1, targets an object in upward direction. Number 2, throwing an object downward. Number 3, shooting ball vertically upward. Number 4, minimum point submarine to submerge. And number 5, launching rocket to its maximum point. Now, let us study the illustrative example below to know more about quadratic function. Are you ready? Let us have the first example. Is y equals f of x equals x squared plus 6x plus 8 a quadratic function or not? Yes, you're right. F of x is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 8 is a quadratic function since its highest degree is 2 and all numerical coefficients are real numbers. Let us have the second example. Is y is equal to 7x plus 12 a quadratic function or not? Yes, you're right. Y is equal to 7x plus 12 is not a quadratic function since its highest degree is 1. And for the third example, is f of x equals quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x plus 3 times x squared a quadratic function or not? You are correct. Y is equal to quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x plus 3 times x squared is not a quadratic function because if you will expand the right side, its highest degree will be 4. And for the fourth example, consider the graph of the quadratic function f of x is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 8 and given the table of values where the values of x are negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, and negative 1. While the value of y or the f of x are 3, 0, negative 1, 0, and 3. Observe the trend or the characteristics of the graph for you to determine how quadratic function is represented using its graph. Good job, guys! You are all amazing. Now, let us define quadratic function and its graph. A quadratic function is a second-degree polynomial represented as f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, or y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0, where a, b, and c are real numbers. The graph of a quadratic function is a parabola. It has different properties including the vertex, axis of symmetry, opening of the parabola, and the intercepts. Quadratic function defined by y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c can be transformed into the form y is equal to a quantity x minus h squared plus k, called the vertex form, by using completing the square method. The following steps can be followed. 1. Group together the terms containing x. 2. Factor out a. If a is equal to 1, proceed to step 3. 3. Complete the expression in parentheses to make it perfect square trinomial by adding the value of negative b over 2 squared and subtracting the value of a times negative b over 2 squared to the constant term. And 4. Simplify and express perfect square trinomial as the square of binomial. And now here are the examples on how to transform quadratic function defined by y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c into the form y is equal to a quantity x minus h squared plus k. Number 1. Transform y is equal to x squared minus 6x minus 6 into y is equal to a quantity x minus h squared plus k. First, write the given y is equal to x squared minus 6x minus 6. The second step, group together the terms containing x. Then, make the expression in parentheses a perfect square trinomial by adding the value of negative b over 2 squared and subtracting the same value to the constant term since a is equal to 1. And then, simplify. And then the final answer will be express the perfect square trinomial into square of binomial. And now, let us know if you have learned in this lesson. Tell whether each picture models a quadratic function or not. Justify your answer. Congratulations for a job well done! And now let us have another activity. What you are going to do is to determine which of the following represents a quadratic function. Congratulations for a job well done. And now let us go deeper. Let's transform the quadratic function defined by y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c into the form y is equal to a quantity x minus h squared plus k. That's all for this lesson. Dahil sa DepEd Blue Rizal, lamang ang may alam.